Om Shanti and greetings of peace. I know this topic is a current topic that is talked about a lot in today's world, especially in this 21st century. 200 years ago, there was just little over 1 billion people in the world. And today we have 7.8 billion souls in the world. So we have such immense change in today's population. When you look at the speed with which changes are taking place in the field of technology, we see that we are able to connect in seconds with each other. In terms of travel, we can travel in hours and get from point A to point B. In terms of what's happening in the world, in terms of global information, the world enters our living room every day via the TV, and scenes that are happening anywhere in the world are captured live, and we can access those scenes sitting comfortably in our living room, and even more so with our little device, our cell phone in our hand. We don't even have to be confined to one place. We can access what's happening, news of what's happening. So there's an explosion in travel, in technology, in population. So it can become a bit overwhelming for us to deal with it. And yet we are invited to cope and cope effectively. And yes, we can, because if we understand certain laws, certain principles relating to nature, the environment, relating to God, relating to our personal journey here on earth, and relating to this drama that we are all part of. If we have these background information, we will be able to be a detached observer and observe the scenes in the drama, enjoy it, and not be stressed out. We know change is taking place at an immense speed. And we also know that changes are necessary. We know our body is getting older and more feeble with time. We know the law of entropy matter, which states everything new will become old and will become new all over again. That's the law. It's inevitable that there will be massive change in nature. And so it should not surprise us. The ozone layer has become thin, where we have more heat waves, we have more long spell of wet or dry weather. We know that the law of entropy is taking place, and we can't avoid volcanic eruption, earthquake, and all the natural calamities must take place. That's why it's called natural calamities, unavoidable. We can't stop a child from leaving the face of a baby to a youth to becoming mature. And as the saying goes, once a man, twice a child. So can we stop that? Can we stop that when we wake up in the morning, we feel energized, fresh, and by midday, our energy seems to get less, and by evening, we need to retire for the day? We cannot stop that. We cannot stop winter that has to follow after autumn, and spring have to follow after winter. These are natural laws, and it is inevitable. It has to happen. And this is why changes are taking place. Imagine if you have a car and you use that car all the time and you don't take it to the workshop to service it, you don't change the oil, you don't give the engine a chance to rest, what's going to happen with the car? You know that when you plant a seed, it grows into a full grown tree laden with fruits. And one day, that tree will become old. It has to be cut down, but notice it leaves a seed behind. So there's no beginning and end of this world. There's nothing called beginning and end of the five elements. We can't destroy water because water was never created. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. We came, the body came from the earth, the body will return back to the earth. Once a man, twice a child. New will become old, but must give way to new all over again. So when we understand these fundamental principles in life, it will help us to embrace change and welcome them, not to flow against the tide, learn to ride the waves, not to fight against change. Death is inevitable. Birth, maybe. They say you may live, but you have to die. So these are the laws that is unavoidable. We cannot be in denial of them. And so seeing the massive change that is taking place in the world at all levels, one should not get stressed from seeing these major changes. If you go anywhere in the world, you will have people saying the same thing about stress. When you ask them, what gives you stress? They will talk about their insecurity, their job, the possibility of losing their job, the possibility of losing their status, the possibility that they may not have enough money, the possibility that they will get ill and may not be cured. What when I get older and I don't have insurance. So people are stressed out for all the challenges that they encounter. And whether you go east, west, north, anywhere in the globe, people talk about work, money, relationship, personal issues like their health. These are the things that people say are the reason why they become stressful. But what is stress? Stress is a form of pain. It's a messenger that comes from inside, which tells you that there is something you need to change. Like you get butterflies in your tummy, it's a sign, a signal, something is not right. But denying changes, not ready to change because we are so comfortable in our comfort zone that we ignore those signals, those signs, until we can't ignore them anymore, until we develop an ulcer, until we develop heart problem, until we become a diabetic. When we are confronted with severe illnesses and we can't avoid it anymore, and our doctor tell us we have to stop eating fatty food or sweet, or we need to lose weight, we need to throw off some of those weight, then only we do it. And we are forced to do it and we don't get the benefit because we don't want to give up sugar, we don't want to give up fast food or fatty food, but we are forced to do it. But instead, if we do it, be very conscious about our health and eat that which is healthy and eat very little so that we don't develop health issues. So, stress is that form of pain, that messenger that comes inside of us, which give us a signal that it's time to change. Yet the majority of people have adopted to change. Many people refer to adapting to the change, but not necessarily ready to change. We're going through a global pandemic and it's affecting the world economies. It's affecting people's health, people's livelihood, people's ability to fend and take care of themselves and their family. I have to say, it's admirable how humanity has been able to adjust to the changes that are taking place. If we were told before about this pandemic, would we have been ready to adjust, adapt? And so we are taken by surprise when it happens. And so there are many definitions of stress. It is suggested that stress is the inability of an individual to cope with and manage change, to cope with the quantity of demand in the time given, with the ability to respond appropriately to any particular situation. So all of these challenges can be triggers of stress. And there are more triggers of stress, a number of them. Death in the family, divorce, separation, marriage, children, bringing up children, selling a home, buying a home, even planning a vacation, planning a festival, money, difficulties with in-laws. All of these are factors that can trigger our stress. And at workplace, excessive workload or non-cooperation from colleagues or conflicting expectations from our superior or boss, or lack of involvement in decision making at our workplace, which involves us. All of these are factors that can trigger stress. And what's the effect, the result of stress? Feeling of hopelessness, lack of enthusiasm, demotivated, draining of our self-esteem. All of these are the result of stress. There are several illusions about stress. People believe that you have to be a doctor to diagnose and treat stress. And we know that's not so, because we get all the symptoms of stress before it arrives, before it becomes stress. We get lots and lots of warning signs. So you don't have to be a doctor to be able to diagnose and treat stress. That's an illusion. Illusion number one. There's a second illusion. Stress is a normal part of everyday life. It doesn't have to be that. Some believe that stress is necessary in order to reach peak performance. That's not true either. Stress is purely a physical phenomena, and a little rest and relaxation will make it go away. And no, other people, situations, and events are responsible for causing my stress. That's another illusion. And some people believe they never get stress. They never experience stress. We all experience stress at different levels, depending on how our resilience, our inner power, our willpower is intact, so that we can cope more effectively with challenges. And I have to remind you, I'm just reminding you, I think, that there are 4 levels of stress. Physical stress, which impact greatly on our body. There's also mental stress, as well as emotional stress. And finally, there is spiritual stress. Stress related to not knowing who I am, not having self-awareness, not having self-respect, not recognizing my inner values. So stress related to a sense of identity. I was addressing a group last Sunday in the US, and I was saying to them, the biggest crisis humanity is facing right now is not COVID-19. It's not an economic challenge. The biggest crisis is an identity crisis. Who we are, what we are, what is our purpose here, what legacy we want to leave behind, why we are here. All of that we are not taught in school. So that's the major challenges humanity face today. Challenges are necessary, yet when students are ready to write an examination, they're stressed out. Why they're stressed out? They're focused, they're driven by the result. So they're result oriented, but they don't enjoy the journey. They're not happy doing the test, knowing that that test, that examination is intended to promote them to a higher class. So the appreciation of being given a chance to sit that examination so that I can be promoted to a higher class. So I should be happy. I should be excited, not stressed out. So in life, every challenges are intended to promote you to another level, a stepping stone, an opportunity to come closer to your goal. So challenges should be embraced with excitement, with enthusiasm, giving you the opportunity to emerge your creativity, to show yourself, to prove to yourself how much faith, how much hope, how much resilience, how much courage you have within you already. So challenges should not be seen as reasons to feel stressed. And there's a saying, your best friend is your worst enemy, because they may feel if telling you the truth will be the cause of their friendship with you, they may not want to tell you the truth. Whereas your worst enemy will not hesitate to highlight your shortcomings. So this is why enemies are your friends, real ones. So if you can have that attitude of seeing how necessary changes are for our growth, for our development, for giving us the opportunity to reach our heights, then we will not feel life to be stressful. There's a lovely saying, it's not what people say or do to us that affects us negatively. It's not what people say or do to us that is affecting us negatively, but what I do, how I respond to what they say or do to me, that can create stress. Nobody gives me stress, can give me stress, nor no situation can give me stress. Again, I want to remind you of this saying. It's not what you say or do to me that makes me feel unhappy or stressed, but what I do with what you say or do to me that makes me feel happy or sad. It's my attitude towards how I respond or react to what you say or do to me. At any given moment in our life, we are totally, absolutely the only one who is responsible for our happiness as well as our unhappiness. No one and nothing. I trust you will think deeply on this aspect that I'm sharing with you tonight. No one, absolutely no one or nothing can result in your feeling happy or unhappy unless you choose to allow that situation or that person to influence you positively and negatively. And if someone is responsible for your happiness, and if an event, situation, or an object is responsible for your happiness and your peace, you are not a victor. You are a victim because you are at the mercy of that situation, that event, that person. You are not the master. You are a puppet and you're dancing at someone else's tune. Picture yourself given a string, and someone who gave you that says to you, whenever I pull that string, you must dance. And you're thinking whether I'm in a mood or not, whether I feel to dance or not, I have to dance. Is it a dignified position to find yourself in at any given time in your life? To be at somebody's beck and call, whims and fancy, whether they feel to smile at you and they do, and whether they don't feel to talk to you, they don't. Is it a very dignified position to find yourself in? And if it's not people, then if circumstances, because they're three things that impacts us greatly: people, circumstances, and possessions. So don't be a victim, be a victor. Take control of your peace, your happiness, your contentment. And why do I say such strong words? That no one can make you stressful, or no situation can be the cause of your stress. Because whenever a situation takes place, something happens, or someone said or do something, it's likely that you're going to respond. And if you don't respond, that's also a form of response. So you make a decision not to respond. And if you choose to respond, it all depends on your mindset. Are you bitter? Are you a critic? Are you a pessimist? Or are you an optimist? Are you by nature positive? Do you always see the glass half full? And if you do, no matter what people say or what the situation is, you'll be able to smile through that situation. But if you have the habit of seeing the glass half empty, that's the lens you're going to use. That's the filter you're going to use to determine the outcome, the impact of that situation towards you. What impact is determined by your attitude towards that situation. You know, there's an experiment carried out, and they put number of beautiful words: development, self-respect, confident. They put many beautiful words. And they try to identify every letter to a number. Let's say A will be equivalent to 1, B equivalent to 2. And they try to count many words to score 100. And none is able to score 100 except attitude. If you add up attitude, you can score 100. So if you want to score 100, all you need to do is work on your attitude. And attitude is related to your outlook, your vision, your perception, the way you look at life. So when a situation takes place or someone says something, the first thing you do is you react or respond. And when you are about to react, the first thing that takes place, you create thoughts. I don't like what she said. I don't like what he said. I'm not happy with this situation. So you create thoughts. And followed by thoughts are feelings and emotions. If you are having negative thoughts, so will be your feelings and your emotions. And then based on your feelings and emotions, you're going to do something. So action will follow based on your feelings and your emotion. You may laugh or you may cry. You may be upset or you'll be happy. What is going on inside you that will finally and ultimately determine the outcome of the situation? It's not the situation, and it's not what people say to you. I like this concept very much because it does not give me permission to play the blame game. And if I don't play the blame game, I don't delay the inevitable. But if I keep playing the blame game, neither the person nor the situation will change. And neither would I change. So when a situation happens, like our immune system is challenged at this time. And so we are taking all the necessary precautions, wearing masks, going out only when it's necessary, avoid crowd, follow the rules. And when we do that, we are able to stay protected. And our stress level and our fear level and our worry level reduces. What if we throw caution to the wind and say, I have the freedom to do what I want? And here's where karma comes in. No one has freedom without responsibility. No one, absolutely no one is above the law. You hear this statement all the time on the news. No one is above the law. Which law? The law of karma. As you sow, so shall you reap. As you make your bed, so will you lie on it. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So are you really free? You're not free unless you balance that freedom with being responsible. And if you're responsible, you're free. And if you're not responsible, you're going to delay the inevitable, but the inevitable will happen. You're going to have to pay the price of that freedom. So, what's my attitude to situation? Do I keep pointing fingers? Am I pushing myself to adapt, and hope that tomorrow everything will get back to normal? We hear the term new normal. Are we embracing that for real? Or we are just hoping that I will get back my freedom to run the rat race, to compete with the rest of the world, to take and take and take my share and take extra? Is that what we are here for? No. So situations come as a wake-up call. And many times we see when we had the tsunami many years ago. First time I heard the word tsunami when it happened in Indonesia. The world woke up, and you would have been seeing on the news, hearing how every country took responsibility, especially the ones who are the makes quite a difference. They send aid, they send help, they send money. I remember hearing a few people, they could not go there to assist. So they took their ticket, their mileage, and gave it to doctors to travel to the scene. So the world woke up and everyone came together. And then after a while, we fell asleep again. And then we have to wake up rudely by another challenging situation. And today we are waiting for COVID-19 to go. It brought major changes. But did we change? Did we create new attitude to life? Do we value our loved ones? Do we enjoy these lockdown moments when we can spend quality time with our family, cook lovely meals, and enjoy a meal together, getting to know each other? There's so much benefit, so much learning. And so I appeal to all of you not to miss opportunity when the universe, I don't want to ever say God is the reason behind any adversity, any calamity, because God is an ocean of forgiveness, love, mercy, the remover of sorrow, the bestower of happiness. God will never, ever test us in this way. But nature is our friend. It's telling us that this body that I have given you on loan doesn't belong to you. You have to respect it, care it, and return it to me in the way I give it to you. But instead, we abused the element, we tampered with it, we depleted, we poison water, air, earth. So we create karmic accounts. So somewhere, somehow, they all have to settle. So understand the law of nature, law of entropy, everything is going to change and renewal is taking place because elements will never be destroyed. The world will never come to an end. It is going to be renewed for our benefit. So can we not spend some of our time, thoughts, and resources, which is mainly our time and thoughts, or rather, especially our time and thoughts, for the renewal of the planet, for the preservation of the planet, for the preservation of the atmosphere by creating beautiful, loving, peaceful vibrations and spread it out so that every cell in my own body will be healed and everyone who is near me can be influenced in a positive way and nature can be influenced, the environment can be healed, nature can be healed, others can be healed by my positive vibration. So I am appealing to all of you to look for opportunities to celebrate life, to give, return back to nature, to develop an attitude of gratitude rather than blaming and complaining and criticizing. That energy is a no-no for my personal well-being, whether my soul, the soul within me, or whether the health of my body. Positive vibrations, which is the result of positive thoughts, will heal me internally as well as heal every cell in my body. It can heal others. It can heal nature. It can heal the world. So take advantage of every challenge and adversity to bring out thoughts of peace, thoughts of faith, thoughts of hope, thoughts of courageousness, thoughts of determination, thoughts to conquer weakness, not succumb to weakness, to criticism and blame game. And when you do that, you have learned the art of staying stress-free. We have potentials as children of God. We are greatest amongst all creatures on this earth. Greatest. So we should show that greatness by having high frequency vibrations, higher than any creature. That's why we are here and we have a developed mind and intellect, and let's use it to conquer our challenges and our weakness and reach our highest potential. So thank you very much. More we meditate, more we are focused, more we are centered, more we are positive, more we are energized. Thank you very much. Om Shanti. Greetings of peace and have a good evening.